Hello, my friend, and welcome to another Pick a Stick challenge. This is a challenge from a Facebook group, Pick a Stick Challenge, and each month we offer several challenges. This happens to be a journal page, an art journal page, and the prompts are listed on a PDF that we provide for you in the file section. So the first prompt for this month is staple. And the second prompt is clay. So I'm going to get out some supplies and get started on my paint. So I'm reaching for my jar that has all of these paper clay embellishments that I made some time ago. I do have videos of making embellishments with paper clay, so if you're interested in that sort of thing, just look through my list of videos. And I'm going to pick something out of here because the prompt is clay, right? And I already have all these clay pieces made. So I'm going to pick something. I have this kind of wonky looking face. And I thought, well, okay, let's use that. And I'll put the rest of the stuff back in my jar. And then I will move on to stapling. So I'm going to grab some, what do they call this stuff? Cheesecloth. I'm going to grab some cheesecloth. And I'm going to use that. And I'm going to staple this clay piece, because it's paper clay, you can staple right through it onto my cheesecloth. Now, part of the challenge is also a color combo, and this month the colors that were pulled were violet and pistachio. So I'm thinking about the colors and how I'm going to incorporate them into this particular page, and I'm trying to think about the next prompt that's coming up, which was one that I really didn't care much for. So just stapling that down with my tiny attacher. And the next prompt in the list, I decide that I'm going to use the wildcard on, because you can do that. If you decide you're not in love with a particular prompt, you can pick one of the wildcards. So that's what I'm going to do. So you may ask, why do you not like prompt number 3? Well, it's an octagon. And let me tell you, I have nothing in my stash that's an octagon shape. And I don't want to draw one. And I'm just, okay, octagons. I have a lot of hexagons, not a lot of octagons. So I'm going to choose wet in wet, which is one of the options in the wildcard section. And so I'm going to spritz my paper down, wet it down, and then I'm going to add some of those colorful inks in the colors of violet and pistachio. Now, I did not have a violet ink, but I did have a red and I did have a blue. So what did I do? I mixed them together and created my own violet color ink in a cup, in a mixing cup, to add to this page. I'm just getting some paper down behind because I know I'm going to make a mess. Wet and wet means you've got drippage. I like drippage. I like it a lot, but I also know that it's going to make a mess. So, okay, these inks have been around for a while. My stopper is plugged up. If yours gets like this, do as I do. Get a pen or something sharp and put it down the tube and clear it out so that you can suck up some of that ink, because that's what it does. It gets up in that stopper and it just sets up like iron. I don't know why it does that, but it does. So yeah, I'm going to clear out that stopper, go back to my ink and start adding it into my watery paper background. And now you can see I'm getting drops. Only my water has started to dry up a little bit, so I've got to add more water and get that ink moving around. And then it's a little bit thick, so I'm going to do a little bit of blotting. And I'm also going to start adding that violet color. So don't throw those paper towels away that you do this with, because they're very pretty and you can use it in your artwork somewhere else. You know, I sometimes use t-shirts. Right now I am using the paper towels just because I can use them in my artwork somewhere else and make something pretty out of them. And I don't want to waste all that pretty ink because it's gorgeous colors. So think about what you're doing your mop-up with. Can you use it somewhere else? Can it be incorporated into something else? So there are those two colors that I'm going to blend together to make my violet. Got a red and a blue, and I've just put them into a cup and mix them together. And I'm going to wet my paper down. I'm going to add the violet. It's going to be really, really dark. And so what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to spritz it with some more water, make it even wetter, make a bigger mess, and then I will blot again because, yeah, just makes pretty paper, right? Just makes more pretty paper. So I continue with this process, and then I will move on to the next step, which is step number 4. So step 4 is pearls. So I have this pearly metallicized product that I'm going to use through a stencil. This is a hexagon stencil, not an octagon. I don't have an octagon stencil. Oh my goodness. And I'm going to, yeah, I'm stuck on these numbers. Hexagon, octagon, whatever. So I'm going to apply that to my page with a purpley color, because we're into the violets, purples, and pistachio greens, right? And just going to add some more texture to my background, because it's all about the texture, right? We want to get the layers onto our page. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm also going to add some Distress Oxide ink because I want to add more layers. So there's that shimmery, shiny, pearlized color. And I also will be adding some more pearls to my page. Should be putting pearls of wisdom in here, but I don't know how wise I am. But thinking about adding another color, decided against it. I'm going to stick with the pistachio and the violet that we have out and just get those down using a blending tool and a stencil. And I like to use different sizes of stencils just to add interest. You know, the hexagon is a little bit larger in size and the opening, and now I'm using the circular one, and then I'll grab one other and another color and also add that. So that'll do it for getting some different layers into my background. And then I'm going to add another element, which is the cheesecloth piece that we started with to begin with. And I will get some light molding paste from Golden, and I will apply that with a palette knife and just start sticking things down to my page. Now, a lot of times people don't want anything quite that dimensional on their page, and I get that, but you know, dimension doesn't bother me. I really like dimensional art, and okay, so it's in my journal and it's dimensional. I'll live with it. So I have kind of a bulky page, but you can see I'm pulling it out, checking off the things that I have done, thinking about what I'm going to do next, and then we will move on from here. So if you haven't joined the Pick a Stick Challenge, come and join us. We're a Facebook group with a lot of fun people. Excuse me. We're a Facebook group with a lot of fun people, and we do these challenges each month and get inspired. come and make some art with us, because I think you're going to have a lot of fun doing this. I also want to recommend Art Joy of Sharing. It's another group that we do together, and we have a lot of video content in there from other creators who have graciously contributed to the monthly challenges that we're doing over there. So I can't say more about it other than, you know, if you like doing this sort of thing, come and join us, because we'd love to see you, love to have you, love to see what you're doing with your art piece. So, okay, I'm getting this stuff glued down, adding some seed beads, adding some bling, adding all of that. I'm going to add some sprays and stains and gesso and all kinds of things, and kind of surprise you with prompt number 5, because prompt number 5 says harsh. So what am I going to do? I'm going to treat my page harshly. I am going to tear it or punch it or do something to it to create an unusual something there. And I'm going to speed things up here just to get through some of this process, and then we'll move on to steps 5 and 6. Okay, so I think we're finally ready to move on. The next step, step 5, is harsh. So I am going to be harsh with my page, and what I'm going to do is tear it. When you tear towards yourself, you get the rag showing. So I'm just going to pull along the edge here and reveal a torn rag, because I like that look on here. This is watercolor paper, so it has that lovely rag, and that is what they would call a harsh edge, right? So in addition to that, I have gone ahead and put some of my lovely browns and golds and things on the page behind, because I like that showing off behind here. And I'm going to take a 2-inch punch, I think. This is a 2-inch round punch. Actually, no. I wonder if I could, no, I can't do that because it's a die. I would need to run it through the machine. Okay, so backing up again, I'm going to take my 2-inch punch, put it through here, and I'm just going to punch a window if I can. See if I can get this punched out of here. There we go. So I have a 2-inch round hole punched to reveal a circle up here. And I like what's going on with that, but I also think I want to emphasize that just a little bit more with some of these golden tones. So I'm going to get let's see, what do I have? I have out here. Nothing that I want to use. So let's see. Let's go for dandelion. Just going to pick up some of that dandelion and put a little bit of that on the edge here. Just to soften the edge of that circular shape and to help it blend in to our overall composition. And then I think I've treated my page harshly, but let me grab a, let's see, I have a violet and a black distress crayon. So I think I want to put a little of that on here. Let's start with the violet and get a brush. Take some of the water off of my brush and just blend that in around the face and the eye. Get a little bit of a shadow here. Don't want as much on this side. Okay. And make a little black on the eyebrow. And maybe on the edge there. Okay. So that's the distress crayon. I also want to do a little bit of pen work, so I'm going to let that dry because the next step on here says draw. So we've done our harsh, I don't know what I did with the pen, here we go. We've done the harsh, and now we're going to do the draw. So, and I'm just going to very simply, add some doodle marks around some of this in the background. Not being very careful at all. I don't really feel the need to be precise on this. I just want some chicken scratches, sketches, sketchy lines. Just to emphasize that design in the background. You can see I even rounded that off a little bit more. Didn't want to do that so much, but oh well. Very simply adding some line work with this is an RX pen that I got from the dollar store. Nothing fancy. You don't have to have fancy tools to journal with. I'm just saying you can use what you have. Okay, and I think I also want to grab a white Posca and do a little bit of work around the eyeball. In here. And I also need to add the pupil on here. Remember, this is just paper clay. Just paper clay. And I'm just using a cheap pen from the dollar store. Yeah, let's darken this a little bit. This is still a little bit wet, so the pen's skipping. That's okay. It'll be all right. And we'll put a little highlight in the eye. Got to be a little bit much. All right. Maybe I need a black. It's a little bit better here. So let me grab a, oops, yeah, grab several blacks. This is a black Posca. So I'm just gonna, yeah, I like that better. That's much better. Okay. And I also want a shadow. Let's grab a gray, a violet. So I think I want a little shadow on here. I need my finger wet though. Help move that. This is a big brush, not a big brush. This is a Pitt pen. And if you move it while it's still wet with a moist finger, it'll move across your page pretty well. So that's what I'm doing here. It's just adding a little bit of that violet in the shadow area. And let's also, wondering if I want, well, anyway, I get carried away. Just going to put my highlight back into the eye, like so. These little pearls I would like to stand out a little bit more. So I'm going to grab that purple that we started with and just get a little bitty dauber. Pick up a little bit of that purple and highlight those embellishments there so that they stand out just a little bit more. Just helps bring them back a bit. Maybe a little here too. Give her a little shimmer. Give our little face a little shimmer and shine, right? Okay, I think we have met the challenge. There it is. So this is the hashtag pick a stick challenge for 0519. There you have it. The page are opening. This gives me an opportunity to do something in behind. And that's it for Pick a Stick Challenge. Thanks, guys. We'll see you.